Hello Habs fan, we are back and this time we are gonna take a look at this year 5th round pick for the Habs, Rhett Pitlick. So this year at the draft, the Habs thrown us a few curveball with picking a few players that I didn't seen playing much during the year. So I had to do a lot of overtime lately trying to catch up on those players. And I started with Rhett Pitlick. The first thing I want to touch with Pitlick, it's his bloodline. So you can see his father played in the NHL. His brother also really close to making the lineup in Nashville with the Predator. And his cousin is also playing in the NHL. He was playing with Dallas last year. Crazy how many sons of former NHLer are making it to the NHL the past few years. And I think one of the reasons why is because they're getting elite training from a very young age. And for Rhett Pitlick, it's also helped to have an older brother. I think it helps speed up the learning curve. Competing with your older brother on a daily basis. So I'm sure when he was younger, they must have a few good battle playing outside. Before we start the footage, I want to look quickly his stat. So this year, in his draft year, he played most of the year in the high school level in Minnesota. And it's a league that's really hard to evaluate because there's pretty good player, but there's also a bunch of awful player. And overall, the quality is not good at all. But he dominated the league with 61 point and 25 game. And as a comparison, let me pull up one other player that took the same route. We have Casey Middlestat. And in his draft year, he played in high school in Minnesota like Rhett Pitlick, and he finished with 64 points in 25 games. So they had similar stat. I'm not saying they are the same skill level, but they had a pretty similar number. Okay, let's start the footage. So you will be looking at number 9. Those are games from the USHL at the end of last year. He played only 7 games, so I was able to pick some clip from those games. If he's able to make it to the NHL one day, his number 1 asset will be his speed. He has great wheels, an excellent top speed, great agility, but the main thing that I like about him is that he's always pedal to the metal, always at 100%. He never takes a shift off. He's a little bit like a little mosquitoes around the puck. He's always in the traffic, always near the puck. He's annoying for other defensemen because he's always putting pressure, always looking to counter-attack real quick. So the speed is really where he shines. When you add the fact that he has a great motor, elite skating, and an endless battery, I mean, he never stops. His legs are always moving, and he reminds me of someone that we know really well in Montreal, a little Paul Byron. Byron was really small when he was younger at his draft. I think he was 145 pounds, something like that. So like Paul Byron, Rhett Pitlick is going to need to bulk up a little bit. So physically, he's not strong. He gets pushed around really easily. So he will need to bulk up, gain some strength. But I really like what I've seen from him so far. And I was told by a few subscribers to include more defensive clips. So with Rhett Pitlick, actually, I think he has a lot of upside defensively because he's so fast. He's always in the middle of the action. He cut down a lot of plays. He's a little poison. And I think he could be a 3 or 4th liner eventually. And maybe a penalty killing guy just with his skating and being really an annoying player to play against.
Centering pass broken up. Nice job by Pitlick.
One up. It's on the top of the slot. Played there by the Stars. No tripping there. Might have been worthy of a call. And now back Omaha comes. As they'll throw it ahead. Thrown toward the net and sent just wide. Second try.
Operations after this coming season. Zabransky's shot blocked. That time and
on that clip, I really like how he was positioned, and also at the end of the play, he made a really nice pass to exit the zone.
in front, Pavel's tied up in front, couldn't find the puck, and was tied up where he couldn't pull the trigger. The face-off. Lancers win the draw. Jackson Decker taken by the force. Pavel pass in front into a crowded slot area. Gajewski couldn't get free. As Kyle Hawamura sends that puck in for Omaha. Hawamura from Frank Largo. Nodler tries to poke it free. Vescio, shot blocked. Nicely done as Pitlick with the block.
And to finish the defensive clip, another great one here, and this is something that he does a lot, creating turnover and going counter-attacking really quickly, and this time it led to a penalty. So almost every game he does stuff like that. Now for the less good thing, and this is one thing I think is below average, is his shot. He's gonna need more power behind that shot, and a lot of time he struggled putting pucks on net. So the amount of shot he was generating was low, and he was also not finishing too well. Maybe it's a matter of having a small sample size here, but he definitely is gonna need more power behind that shot. This is not an NHL level shot. All in all, I think at 131, you couldn't ask for a better pick. He has the upside here with his speed, with his motor, and his intensity. There's another player similar to him, Alex Campbell. They are very similar player, and Campbell went at 65 overall. He went quite a bit later in the round, and I think it's a good gamble. He's just gonna need to adjust playing against stronger competition. This is not high school anymore. He's gonna need to adjust playing against bigger, faster player, but I think he's gonna be able to do it. The final thing I want to say to finish this video is that in scouting, you want to try to project and predict, okay, this player, where he is in his learning curve. So is he at 50% of the finished product? Is he at 80%? So for example, player like Raphael Lavoie, or maybe last year Brady Tkachuk, those players I would say they are above 80% of the finished product. So they're almost NHL ready. They're fully mature. They're big. They're strong. And player like Pitlick, the value in those players is that they still have a lot more room to grow, not only physically, but overall as a hockey player. So if, let's say right now he's at 50%, that means the upside is really big because he has a lot more room to improve. And if we look at his brother, Rhett Pitlick, it took a little bit more time before being NHL ready, but the patience was worth it, and he's becoming a very solid player, and I expect the same thing for Rhett Pitlick.